gone. That is back up and snap her face. And gummy! Though Rainbow was out of the water, she found the toothless alligator's face. She shook her head as hard as she could to get Gummy off. Finally dislodging him, the little gator bounced to the floor and ran off. Rainbow Dash coughed, gasping for precious air. She reached her breaking point. Rainbow Dash was furious. This has gone far enough, Pinkie Pie! You are crazy! I mean, off the deep end. 120% insane! This isn't a party, this is nuts! You're nuts! This isn't a party? This isn't a party? Pinkie growled menacingly. Rainbow Dash cringed as she realized her outburst might have caught her an even worse fate, and her ears flattened against the side of her head. Oh, I get it. You don't want to party. You want to party! Pinkie shouted in glee and anger. She let go of Rainbow Dash and hopped happily over to the table. Rainbow Dash sighed. Thankfully, it seemed that Pinkie wasn't quite finished with her yet. Without hesitation, Pinkie buried her face into the cake and dug around, making numbing sounds before popping out again. Her face was covered in cake, and she was holding a very large, very not plastic, and very not Philly safe cutting knife in her mouth. She squirmed under the table and crawled out again, now with the purple ponytail tied to the handle of the knife. Let's play pin the tail on the pony, Dashie! That always makes for a good party! This was perfect, Rainbow Dash thought to herself. No matter what was about to happen, she had won. Rainbow Dash had to pin the tail on the pony. That meant she got the knife, which meant she called the shots from there on out. Pinkie was going to play. She would be blindfolded, giving Rainbow Dash the perfect chance to trip her up and grab the knife, going back to Plan A. Rainbow Dash grinned. Yeah, Pinkie. That's your favorite game, isn't it? Let's play! And Rainbow Dash said Rainbow Dash with a self-assured smile. Pinkie hastily put on a blindfold, but there was a hole for one eye. Guess who the pony is? She said, staring right at Rainbow Dash.
In 60 seconds.
Horse apples! Rainbow Dash turned tail and ran. She was at a disadvantage by not knowing the layout of the candy shop as well as Pinkie did. But if she sat still, she was a goner. She was fast, if nothing else, and with her life on the line, she was even faster. Rainbow Dash was hardly more than a blur, taking off at full gallop and throwing the door open. She ran down hallways and slammed doors behind her as she tried to find the exit which would lead to her freedom. She ended up in a rather large storage room full of shelves and cupboards, collapsing against a cupboard-covered wall for a moment to get her bearings and take in her surroundings. Chink! With the flash, the knife swished by, missing her left cheek by a few inches. Rainbow Dash squealed like a little filly. Pinkie Pie was right behind her, sticking out from one of the cupboards. Rainbow Dash, wait! Rainbow Dash slammed the cupboard door in Pinkie's face, turning tail and running again. Trying to keep track of where she had been and where she was going, but she was terrified and she couldn't focus on anything but escaping from Pinkie. After running through more rooms and down more hallways, Rainbow Dash ended up in a small office-like area. She flopped down on a nearby stool and began to gnaw at the streamers that were binding her wings. She could free her wings, she thought. She could be that much faster, and once she found the door, she could be safe in the clouds. As she worked, Rainbow Dash's eyes darted around in panic, ready to bolt again at the sight of anything pink. Shink! Rainbow Dash shrieked as the knife popped up in front of her from below, stopping inches from her nose. The stool rose into the air, and it was Rainbow Dash. It and Rainbow Dash were balanced on Pinkie Pie's head as she swung around wildly. Why won't you listen to me? She screeched. Because all I hear from you is crazy! Screamed Rainbow Dash. Pinkie continued to thrash around, and Rainbow Dash lost her balance, falling onto the ground behind Pinkie. In a flash, she was back on her feet, running again. More hallways and more rooms passed as Rainbow Dash ran at top speed through them, finally ending up in what looked like a bedroom. What in Equestria is a bedroom doing in a candy-making factory? Rainbow Dash wondered to herself. A small mirror sat on a nearby dresser, and Rainbow Dash looked around. It almost seemed deserted. Maybe there was something she could find to use to defend herself, she wondered. Out of the corner of her eye, Rainbow Dash suddenly noticed movement. She whipped her head around to look out the door. Pinky? She asked natively. She was met with silence in reply. She sighed. I'm starting to lose it, she murmured to herself. Oh, Rainbow Dash! Echoed Pinky's sing-song voice from behind her. Rainbow Dash shrieked and spun around. Pinky's menacing reflection was staring at her from the mirror on the dresser. Rainbow Dash's eyes went wide, and she spun around again, but saw no pony. On the dresser. Rainbow Dash's eyes went wide, and she spun around again, but saw no pony. That is really hard for an English-speaking man to say. But saw no pony behind her. She panted hard, trying to catch her breath and clear her head. Relax, Rainbow Dash. Just relax. Oh, Rainbow Dash! Came Pinkie Pie's voice from behind Rainbow Dash once more, this time with a distinct note of rage. That's representing. Rainbow Dash spun around once again to find Pinkie now sitting atop the dresser in front of the same mirror, hunched over and leering at her with frustration and the knife held in her mouth. Oh my gosh, Pinkie! Squealed Rainbow Dash, and she was running off again, practically with a puff of cartoonish smoke left in her wake. Rainbow Dash was sure she was going this time. Where she was going this time. As she turned a corner, she saw a door at the end of the hallway. This is it, she thought. This has got to be the way out of here. Rainbow Dash charged through the door, expecting to be greeted by sunlight, and promptly slipped on a pile of cake that was lying. Hitting the cake at full speed, Rainbow Dash skidded forward a few feet before tripping over a stool and falling flat on her back. Dazed, she wasn't outside. She was back in the room where she first started. Rainbow Dash groaned, half in pain, half in frustration. Pinkie ominously came through the door, closing and locking it behind her. All right, Daxie, frowned Pinkie. You're not being a party pony anymore. We're gonna finish this game now! She stepped forward, put her hoof slipped on the same slice of cake that knocked Rainbow Dash over. As Pinkie Pie hit the ground, the knife slipped from her grip and flew through the air, directly towards Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash screamed as the lost knife flew through the air, plummeting down towards her. She tried to get away, but the wind was knocked out of her from the fall, and her panicked efforts to get up were thwarted as she kept slipping on the cake-covered floor. She closed her eyes and braced herself. Sound effect. Twing! But she felt nothing. She opened an eye tentatively and found that not only had the knife missed her, it had grazed and cut into the streamers tying her wings. Oh, how fortunate! Severing a few of them. Reinvigorated by this sudden turn of events, she grabbed the handle of the knife in her mouth and quickly got to her feet, flexing her wings as hard as she could. How graceful! The remaining layers of streamers broke away with a resounding snap as her wings flew open to their fullest. She was free. Rainbow Dash glared at Pinkie as the pink pony struggled to get back on four legs. The streamers weren't the only thing that had snapped moments ago.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
Pinkie Pie's legs? See? It makes sense. Knife in mouth, Rainbow Dash slowly approached Pinkie Pie, fully prepared to get her revenge. Before Pinkie could get to her feet, Rainbow Dash flung herself at Pinkie, pinning her to the ground and bringing the knife a few inches from her neck. So, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash growled through the knife, I came over to invite you to a surprise party for you. For your own birthday! What you forgot all about!
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
Man, sounds like Rocket to Insanity.
Well, guess what? I got a little present of my own for you, Pinkie Pie. Meet my friend, Mr. Stabby. Rainbow Dash lowered the knife with the purple ponytail until the point pressed
Mission
against
ends
Pinkie
in
Pie's
10
throat.
seconds.
But Pinkie just blinked, seemingly oblivious to the whole situation.
5, 4,
The insane and murderous look had vanished from her face until one. A thoughtful surprise.